Rise and shout. It's time for What's Trending. All right, it is time for a bounce-back opportunity for BYU football, looking to come off that Notre Dame loss and hopefully take care of business at home where the Cougars have been so good against a very, very solid Arkansas team. Jarom, my question for you today and for everybody across BYU Sports Nation is this. Would a win over Arkansas rectify the loss to Notre Dame?
Yes, because the goal was always to split in the Big Four with Baylor, Oregon, that split, mini split, and then Notre Dame and Arkansas. Yeah, were we hoping BYU could somehow pull off 3-1? Could they have won last week and are going for 3-1 this week? Yes, but that's not the case. Defend home turf. Arkansas is banged up. So is BYU. It's Game 7. It's the start of the second half of the season. Let's go. And this week, by the way, it doesn't matter how BYU plays. They just need to win. I, at this point, don't care about style points against P5s. I do against G5s when you're a 20-plus point favorite at home. Utah State and Wyoming. I do. South Florida, style points mattered. Go down there and win. Although perhaps that one we were scared of Florida and opener and whatever. But this team is so experienced that they needed to go win that game. This game, convincingly, this game against Arkansas is if you win it by any means, that is great.
It's a toss-up according to Las Vegas. The line is even. In some cases, Arkansas is like a 1-point favorite.
Yeah, I'm seeing 1.5 in some spots. So this is just a win this game situation. Even though BYU is trending in a less than stellar direction given the last 3 games. 2 wins, but not convincingly, not good enough for the standard. Although maybe the standard should be adjusted for this team. I'm not sure. But if BYU can beat Arkansas and be 5-2 with 2 quality wins in Baylor and the Razorbacks, I like that idea.
Yeah.
Now, if BYU loses, Spence, this is bad. Back-to-back losses, that's a streak now. At Liberty is a tougher game than you think. Now BYU's in a precarious position. So, yes, it would make up for the Notre Dame loss. And yet, the Notre Dame loss is still going to sting, but this will make up for it. It will soothe it a bit.
For sure. Again, the trend of how BYU has played over the last 5 weeks has people feeling a little bit of trepidation going into this game. Even though it's at home and BYU has won, 16 games in a row at LaVell Stadium?
And it's in the day, oh no.
Okay, so it's an afternoon game, but it's back at home in the comforts of LaVell Edwards Stadium where BYU recently has been so good.
Yeah.
Beating Arkansas, like you said, if it's ugly, doesn't matter.
Don't matter.
1 point, great. Just find a way to beat Arkansas. But you would think, logic would tell you that BYU has to play a better brand of football to beat Arkansas.
Then against Notre Dame?
BYU can't show up like they did against Notre Dame or even against Wyoming and Utah State in wins at LaVell Edwards Stadium. Like, logic says you got to play a better brand of football. You have to be more sharp, have to be more disciplined. You have to eliminate the quote-unquote stupid mistakes that Kalani Sitake was talking about. So, yes, it would rectify the Notre Dame loss because I think it means BYU plays a better brand, better style, better quality of football.
Papa John's.
If they beat Arkansas 5-2, they have most likely played better football overall. They look better. It feels better. And now you don't feel like doubt is creeping in. This is a huge turning point game for BYU. If you lose back-to-back games, you go 1-3 against the Big Four, as you've pointed out, with Baylor, Oregon, Notre Dame, and Arkansas. You go 1-3, then you're kind of like, okay, who is BYU? Who is BYU? And frankly, at that point, they have dipped under the expectations that you and I had for BYU at the beginning of the season. We think, hey, 9 wins. BYU's capable. This is a 9-win team. In the regular season, 9-3. All of a sudden, you have the 3 losses. At that point, you're asking BYU to win 5 in a row.
And that's not going to happen.
That's a big ask.
Given the way,
that's a big ask.
If BYU loses.
Okay, so if BYU beats Arkansas, right back on track, maybe even a little bit ahead of schedule again, because you're 5-2 going into the back 5 and feeling like, well, maybe BYU can win the final 5 because they should be favored in the back 5. BYU might not be favored when the game kicks off on Saturday on their home field. And for what it's worth,
I don't believe they will be.
For what it's worth, the 2 losses that BYU has this year have both been when BYU was an underdog. They were a 3.5, 4-point underdog going into Eugene. That didn't work out well. and the Cougars were a similar underdog going into the Notre Dame game. 3.5, 4 points.
This needs to be the reverse.
Okay.
Where BYU is the dog and wins.
BYU's got to figure
home.
out a way to be the underdog. I know it's weird to think that at home they're an underdog to a team that's lost 3 games in a row, but here we are because of the way that BYU has played over the last 5 games. This is the reality we're in. So can BYU flip the script there and win a game where they will be a slight underdog on their home field? If they do, yeah, the Notre Dame loss is rectified. BYU's playing a better brand of football, and the Cougars are looking a little bit more optimistically toward the back half of the season.
Yeah, it's a huge game for that. Like, if BYU loses, all the stuff you just mentioned. BYU wins, hey, feeling better about the Notre Dame loss because you got an SEC win. Again, this is just the 3rd game ever at home against an SEC team.
Yes, at that point you've beaten Baylor and Arkansas.
Team.
You've beaten 2 tough-nosed, respected programs.
And welcome to next year, because next year you're going to have a few head-scratching losses against tough teams. Maybe they're not head-scratching because they're tough. Next year, I hope BYU goes 5-4 in the Big 12. If they do better than that, that'll be great. We're talking about 5 P5 wins in league where you're playing tough road games. You're playing tough home games. Welcome to next year already. Okay, topic 2. 6 games in, we haven't seen who we thought we'd see at wide receiver due to injuries, right? It's provided more opportunities for other guys. So right now, who's BYU's best receiver?
I still think it's Puka Nacua. Puka Nacua is BYU's best receiver. Now, I know that there is great attention paid to health, right? But in terms of just capability, straight up experience, big time playmaker, Puka Nacua is the biggest playmaker that BYU has. But his health hasn't been there. So this has opened up the opportunity for a few guys that I feel like have been either off the radar or, in Keanu Hill's case, the most underappreciated BYU football player, to step up and make their case that right now I'm the best receiver because I'm available and I have been making plays for the first 6 games. So Keanu Hill's got a case. Puka's the best receiver that BYU has on the roster.
Yes.
When healthy.
I agree.
When healthy.
But he's not healthy.
But Cody Epps, you've said, he's a dude
he's
now.
Officially.
He's a dude. He was my Y Factor pick the last 2 weeks, and I won with Cody Epps in my Y Factor picks.
Are you doing it again?
Someone's going to take him. Typically, I pick last, and so they were giving me a hard time, oh, Spencer.
Why do you pick last?
Huh?
Because you won?
Well,
is that why you picked?
Just
because you're the sideline guy?
Yeah, probably.
Come on now.
I've picked last all season long.
Really?
Yes. But I won with Cody Epps as my Y Factor the last 2 weeks because, to his credit, he has stepped up.
Yeah.
And right now, with health and production, by the numbers and by what we have seen on the field, he's the best receiver as currently constituted. Puka Nacua is the most talented.
Please make it manifest.
He's the most talented. Puka Nacua. Cody Epps right now is probably the best receiver to date.
Yes, I agree with that take. And for health and strength in daily food, we praise thy name, O Cody Epps, at this point. Is that how the lyric went in the primary? Look at the numbers. 25 catches.
This blows my mind.
Leads the team. 5 touchdowns leads the team, by the way. 298 receiving is second. Keanu Hill, number 1 in yards, number 2 in receptions. What if I told you, is this a 30 for 30? That Braden Cosper would have 4 times the amount of catches as Puka Nacua halfway through the season. Obviously, injuries to both Puka and Gunner have affected this.
Jarom.
The bad news is the injuries, Spence. The good news is, look at what the receivers have been able to do in spite of that.
For sure.
I would have thought, oh, man, we're in trouble. Nope. Chase Roberts has been awesome, but really banged up. Hopefully he plays Saturday. Braden Cosper has waited through 2 season-ending injuries to get to this point. Cody Epps has waited 2 years to get to this point. Keanu Hill's waited to be in the top 3. Now he's one of the top 2 receivers on the team in terms of production. The hope is BYU can get everybody healthy. But the reality is, if not, they're just fine. And in a game against Arkansas where their secondary is massively banged up, it's up to Jaron Hall on that injured shoulder. He said he's feeling better. We just heard him. To stretch the field. And we'll talk to Matt Jones coming up about, what is that pass defense like for the Razorbacks? And how much of this matchup is BYU's pass offense versus Arkansas's rush offense? So it's going to be an interesting one. A few numbers on Cody. 94.1 receiving grade of 20-plus yards down the field, by the way. He is excellent on deep balls. 4 straight games with a touchdown. 5 TDs the last 4 games. That's awesome.
He's the middle of the field guy, Jarom.
He's BYU's deep threat as well. Keanu Hill, Keanu Hill as well. They can play
Cody
all
Epps
over.
he's made a living on yards after catch. Like, he's the dude that just gets lost and they have a hard time tracking down.
He's been awesome. So PFF will give us the grades based on when they've played, okay? What do they have?
There you go.
Cody Epps is the #1 guy on the team right now. It's 79.7. If you don't like PFF, then you don't care. But if you value this, and we do, Cody Epps, best receiver on the team right now. Chase Roberts right there, Puka, Keanu, Gunner, Braden. Now, 4 dudes in the 60s, not ideal. Ideally, you get 70+ from everybody. But Cody is tracking for an 80+ yard type of grade from PFF, which is excellent. Remember, this dude was a first-team All-American out of high school, USA Today, put up stupid numbers with Bryce Young. He's now flourishing. And the bad news is the injuries have been that have happened, but the good news is these guys have stepped in. When we say next man up, typically that's overused and it's annoying to me. No, truly this room has been that case where Cody Epps goes, okay, Keanu Hill, I'm getting more targets. Braden Cosper, I'm ready. Huge catch against, what was it, Wyoming to end that first half?
Sure.
Like, who? Braden, a lot of fans were probably like, who's Braden Cosper? Braden Cosper was the #1 receiver coming out in 2018 out of the state of Utah. Like, he has waited for this moment and been ready.
They're giving the offensive line a push for most experienced and most talented position group.
Absolutely.
Seriously.
And
credit to the wide receivers and to their coach, Fesi Satake, which Cody Epps said, I asked him, I'm like, okay, what's the deal? Like, you've taken like this astronomical leap this year. What's the deal? And he said, I have got to give credit to Fesi and to A-Rod. They have put me in the right positions. I have studied like crazy with their tutelage, following their cues. Like, I've been coached up by them. And
Fesi's a star.
Oh, my goodness.
Fesi's a star.
I love that.
We walk into next year in the Big 12 confident with the receivers and tight ends.
For sure. And hopefully, Puka Nacua, like, we think he's going to be back next year, right? We were wondering, like, oh, man, if he has a big breakout season, he's probably going to be gone.
He's played in 3 games. He's going to play.
We need more Puka.
We need more Puka.
We need more Puka. Here's what's crazy.
Hey, Jaron, go ahead and come back next year, too.
9 through 6 games.
How does that happen?
Through 6 games. 9 combined catches between Puka Nacua and Gunnar Romney.
That's wild.
Combined for 107 yards. These guys can go 9 for 107
in any game.
In an instant.
Puka's been targeted 5 times. He's just not played much, and in those games, obviously South Florida comes out in the first quarter? I mean, and then he barely played against Utah State, and then he plays against Notre Dame, but he's targeted twice. That's tough. More Puka. And he says he's okay. He says he can do everything he wants to do out on the field, so let's see it. You'll know when Puka's fully healthy when he runs a jet sweep.
Okay, and the last time he ran a jet sweep, he got injured against Wyoming.
And maybe Aaron says, well, you've been injured twice on jet sweeps, so maybe we don't do that. But that's the ultimate flex of health to me. But I could see where, you've been injured twice on that, let's not do it.
Wow. Okay, all things
But he scored a 75 right there.
If Puka's getting healthy and he is healthy, then this is a major boost for BYU against a depleted Arkansas secondary, which, as you pointed out, we're going to hear more about from Matt Jones coming up in just a bit. All right.